salad with his throat. Look at that. Top toad is gone. I hope I got that on camera because that was cool. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Flipping the Script Fishing. Now today I want to tell you about a lure that has made its way into my own personal box, my own personal frogging box. All my different frogs I got in there because I've grown to be confident in it, and it's a versatile bait. I can search water, search for active bass with it. Anyway, that lure is the Stanley Top Toad. Okay, it's a great lure. If you like to throw a buzz bait, obviously you can only throw a buzz bait in grass that's so thick. Well, this top toad you can take and you can throw it in open water, around sparse grass, and in the thickest stuff you can find. It does very well in all of that. I would recommend a black color, some variation of it, a white color or some variation of it, and then like a bullfrog color, green color, that kind of thing. You can also experiment with all types of other colors. I've seen weird combinations work very well. So the rod I like to use is, well, this one is a 7.3 heavy action ducket ghost. Does me very well. I have that paired up with a 6:3 to 1 gear ratio reel. I don't think this one's a fluger. I don't think that really matters too much. But 6:3 to 1 is probably the slowest you should go. A 7 to 1, or even faster, you can go 8 to 1 or something like that, would actually probably do better. So I would suggest a little bit, a reel on a little bit of the faster side. But you definitely need a heavy action rod, maybe a medium heavy at the slowest, or the weakest action. I would go 7.3 or above. 7.6 would probably be optimal for the rod length at medium heavy to heavy action. You don't really want to go heavier than that. Being a lure that you're cranking across the top of the water, a heavier, extra heavy would probably be a little bit too much. Now you do need a backbone to get it out of that grass. Now, what's critical is the line. I have this with 50 pound braided line. Okay, this is Power Pro Slick. Does very well. Or Power Pro Slick 8, I believe is what it is. But you need, I would say, 50-pound test line or better to make sure that you can get them out of that grass. That braided line actually will cut through the grass, where you can go with heavy fluorocarbon. It's not going to cut through the grass. You may be able to get a hook in the fish, but good luck pulling that fish through that grass, because you're going to have a wad that's 50 pounds plus with that fish. So the braided line is essential. You may be able to get away with a leader, but I would just go straight braid. There's no reason to go with a leader in this case. So let me also show you the hook, and I'll show you how to rig it up here in just a second. This one you can get in a package with the little the package where 2 top toads come. It also comes with, I think, 2 hooks, or at least 1. But it says double hook with a little bit of weight on it. I like the weight because it helps it get, sit in that grass a little bit better. It also helps with the action of those legs. When this lure is sitting in the water a little bit more, those legs kick and make a little bit more disruption. I think it gets a little more attention. If you go with a weightless hook, I don't think it gets quite as good action. So I would recommend buying just the hook separately. If you buy the hooks separately without the ones that come in the package seem to be a little bit thinner gauge wire, and they flex a little bit more, they bend a little bit more, and I don't get as good of a hook set on them. You can also buy the hooks where it's just a set of 2 of these, and they seem to be a little bit stronger gauge and a little bit heavier, and they seem to do better when I'm fishing. So let me show you how to rig that up, and we'll also get into the retrieve. There's a handful of retrieves that work really well, and we'll get into that here in just stay tuned. Alright guys, now I'm going to show you how to rig up this Top Toad, okay? It's very simple, but I want to make sure that you knew exactly how it should sit, okay? Now, the cool thing is, they already make it pretty self-explanatory. They make the legs far enough apart that the hooks sit between. They also give you this little notch out right here where it shows you where the hooks should sit, okay? So, what I want to do is, these hooks are great because they have this spring-loaded, the spring to load it up on there, and the way that spring is designed helps get it centered and helps hold it tight, okay? So what I want to do is push this in the center and just twist it on there. Very simple. Put it all the way up to the eye of that hook, just like that. And then I'm going to feed this between here. And I want to take the tips of these hooks, and I want to just barely put them in that plastic, just like that. Just like that. Okay, so that will keep it weedless. So if it happens to turn upside down, those weeds, until it turns itself right side up, won't hang. Okay. Now also, as you can see, since I have it threaded so far up there, those hooks sit back just a little bit. That can help you hook up a little bit, but once this gets beat up a little bit, which it will once you catch a couple fish, just untwist it a little bit so you have just a little bit of space between the nose and the eye of the hook, and then you can sit it in there again and use your frog just a little bit longer, or your Top Toad a little bit longer. You can see it sits right against those hooks now, the bend of those hooks. So you can do that to get a little bit more longevity out of your frog, and it works just fine. Okay. Now, also, combination, if you have a hard time finding Top Toad, because they can get sold out quick, these Zoom work pretty good. Obviously they don't sit quite as well because you see how the shape of the legs is a V. You kind of have to rig this and take the hooks through the legs, and I'll show you that here in just a second. The same goes for these Gambler Buzzin Toads. These work as well. They don't float, but they work really well. And for you guys that fish those Gambler tournaments, those free tournaments, these work really well. You can fish them like a Top Toad and get similar bites, and be legal for the Gambler tournament, because you have to use just their lures in those tournaments. So for those of you that are looking to do Gunnersville here in October, this is a good option. Okay, so the way I want to rig these Zoom frogs is just a little bit different, similar to the Top Toad, but you have to take into account that the plastic is really stretchy and a lot tougher, so the frogs will last you a lot longer, but they don't run quite the same, and they're not positioned the same. As you can see, there's a shape of the V there, as opposed to the Top Toad that has a little bit more space there. You can rig it up with the same hook, you just have to take that into consideration. Okay, so
Keeping in mind that the plastic is tougher, so sometimes it's hard to get these things started. Actually, you know what? I think if you punch a hole first, maybe that'll help. All right, punch a hole with the hook point. Then go ahead and start. That's much better. Actually, you want to twist it all the way up to the eye, like that. You want the screw lock to be sitting on the eye of the hook correctly. Okay. So once I've got that lined up, then I want to go ahead and do this. Where I put the right through the legs like that. And then skin hook it. Just barely skin hook it, because this plastic being so tough, is you want to make sure that hook comes out and gets into those frogs, or into those bass, excuse me. So that's how you rig up the zoom, and you can do that with ribbit frogs, the gambler frogs. There's numerous type of frogs you can do that same rigging with. My first choice is going to be this top toad. It's just hard to beat. They really eat it good, and since it floats, it's got that hollow cavity there. I can fish it very slowly in open water. I can fish it fast. I can do all kinds of things. I can pull and stop and pull and stop. And in fact, it gets me into the retrieve. When I'm retrieving these top toads, I do one of 3 retrieves. The first one is just to slowly crawl it. Just to slowly reel it in with those legs doing their thing, even across thick grass or vegetation, can be very effective. Open water, vegetation, doesn't matter. Now when I have thicker grass, I like to do a pull and pause. So I'll pull it about 2 or 3 feet, and then I'll pause it. Pull it another 2 feet, pause it. Pull it another, and just repeat that over and over again, and that seems to draw a lot of strikes as well, and it works good in that thicker vegetation. If I have a little bit more sparse vegetation or a really good thin canopy of grass, I will burn this thing. I will take it across that very fast, and you will get some savage strikes. So when you do that, those 3 retrieving options are the way to go. So try that out, and let me know how it works. Comment, and if you haven't already subscribed, guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you'll receive notification when I drop any tip or any video as soon as I drop it.
Alright guys, so I hope those tips really help out. The top toad is a phenomenal bait. It's very versatile. It's great in ponds, and it's great on rivers, main rivers and lakes. It can become a staple in your box as well. Try them out, and until next time, guys, tight lines.